sun stopped here on October 7th. By 10 in the morning, the brutal attack by Hamas was well underway. Some homes in this kibbutz near Oz were ablaze, families suffocating on smoke or hiding, petrified in safe rooms, like Ron Bahat with his family.
The safe room, we will lock the door. We used some rope and cabinet to hold it closed. Luckily, they didn't shoot our door.
The Israeli military escorted us to witness the depravity, the horror of that day. Randomly, it appears some homes were burnt and others shot up, torn apart. Something absolutely horrible happened in this house. Down this hallway is what they call a safe room, where people were hiding. There's bullet holes as the Hamas militants tried to get at the family members here in their home in the early morning. There's a big swath of blood from the safe room into the living room. They didn't torch this home. They just terrorized the people living here. 400 people lived here. 100 are gone, dead or taken hostage. One couple, Canadian Judy Weinstein and her husband Gad Hagi, lived in this house, but on that morning they were already out.
Judy and Gadi, they were like sportsmen. Around 6 o'clock, they went out on the south gate.
And they got trapped by gun-toting Hamas militants.
They're laying face down on the ground, and that there are hundreds of rockets over their heads.
Judy's daughter spoke to us.
And then I said, okay, let me know when you're home. And she never answered.
Her father was shot, badly injured.
I have a very, very strong feeling he's not alive anymore. I do have a feeling my mom is kidnapped. But again, it's been 13 days. She said she was shot. I don't think Hamas is taking care of their hostages.
The Israelis have Judy Weinstein on their hostages list. Her family's been told by Israeli authorities that she's likely in Gaza.
I hope that she's alive. I really hope. And Gadi also.
The kibbutz has now emptied. But amidst all this trauma, the survivors of Nir Oz want to come back and rebuild in time. Susan Ormiston, CBC News in southern Israel.
And these two people, these two Canadians are still missing, by the way. And I was wondering, what's the, there's been a lot of Palestinian, parades and Jewish parades lately, and the two groups have been clashing. Do you have that sort of thing going on in Quebec or in Ontario?
I'm like 5 minutes away from Ottawa. Yeah, there's been stuff going on. There's been stuff going on at the Israeli embassy. There's been stuff going on in Parliament, Wellington, all downtown. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. We had these clashes, and I know in France,
I don't think we had any clashes here, but yeah, no, there's definitely been demonstrations for sure.
Right. And on the flip side of that too, in New York, New York Jewish people have got together to demonstrate on behalf of the Palestinians, saying open up the aid.
Oh yeah, there's tons of groups like Jewish Voices for Peace and folks like that. Absolutely, yeah.
In the social context of this all, it looks like the left and the right are breaking their heads over this. They don't know who to support or how to do this, or they're like the hospital bombing, right? Even President Biden said Hamas did it.
When it comes to the hospital bombing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who did it, and let me tell you why.
Okay, tell me why, Dave.
It doesn't matter who does it, because there is a situation that forced 4,000 people into an overcrowded hospital, and I don't know if it was 50 people that died or 500 people that died, but either way, there was a situation that forced too many people into a hospital. That there were people camping in a hospital parking lot, because there was nowhere safe to go. They had to flee their homes, and those people died. It doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter who dropped the munition. What matters is that there are munitions flying, and that doesn't happen in a vacuum.
That is also true. And also a week to 2 weeks prior to that, Israel did bomb that same hospital, apparently.
Yeah, was it even the Archbishop of Canterbury confirming this, right? Before British Parliament, saying that yes, that they had received some knock knock bombs and had been warned that the hospital that they need to evacuate the hospital.
Right. If well, between these
allegedly, I don't know. Who knows?
yeah, who knows? Who the heck knows? Between Ukraine and Israel, and then there's other wars there. World looks like it's in sad shape right now. A little bit.
I think it's happening to white people. I think that's what's happening. I think this has been happening. This shit's been happening, right? It never stopped. It's just happening to white people now. That's the only reason why we're paying attention to it the way we are. You know, this is happening in Yemen. You know, there's like been this like summer there were like 2-3 different civil wars that started in Africa. Like like this stuff's happening. Like it's just happening. It's happening to white people now. That's what's happening.
Well, that
white people died.
Well, and without citing sources, Channel 12 from Israel reported that the security chiefs had seen telltale signs more than 2 hours before Hamas's assault on the morning of October 7th. The attack was looming. 1,400 people were killed by terrorists in southern Israel. That's what they were saying. And the indications pointed to a battle that day in which a force of terrorists would attempt to infiltrate across the border. The United States also told Israel there was an incoming attack too as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no warnings, no nothing for the people there.
You know what? There's going to be after this whole conflict wraps up. There's going to be investigations. You know, there's going to be people that are going to be. I mean, Netanyahu really is not popular right now. There's some general support that's surrounding him to get through this crisis, but after that, I feel it's not like this is not going to end pretty, and he is going to be in bad shape after this. He is out of here like after this next election, hopefully, because you know he's part of the problem that's led to this conflict.
100%.
But like we'll find out, and a lot of like this stuff that we're going to find out a lot of stuff. We're hearing conflicting reports about everything. We can't be definitive about everything. I heard reports that there were that some of the deaths from the Israelis in settlements was from fire from the IDF, because as we've learned, Israel doesn't care about prisoners. They'll just bomb them instead and stuff.
Well,
which I think that's. I mean,
they
like Hamas should not be taking prisoners, like you civilian prisoners and stuff like that. But like, Jesus Christ,
right? Well, there's so many tunnels in the Gaza Strip too that I don't think they'd even be able to roust them out of the tunnels. So they got electricity, they got water, they got steel doors. You can't bomb them out. And I'm sure those tunnels go into Israel and into Egypt as well.
Right? Whatever they could do is going to be absolutely horrendous. Like, if they do that, it's going to be horrendous. There's no question about it.
In the meantime, U.S. and European governments are putting pressure on Israel to delay its ground invasion of Gaza to buy time for secret talks underway via Qatar to win the release of the hostages by Hamas. Secret talks, buddy.
Wait, who's trying to release Israel's trying to release the hostages, or other countries are trying to release the hostages?
Other countries.
Yes, what I thought. Yeah. Israel does not care.
Right. Well, Israel did say that most of the those that abducted to Gaza were still alive.
I mean, this is the policy of the Canadian government as well. Like, it's not an uncommon policy. Like, if you really like don't think that like Israel's being more barbaric than most other countries. Like, the Canadian government has like a policy of not negotiating with terrorists, right?
We just let them in. That's all.
I mean, we breed them internally as well. I mean,
We breed them, send them out in the world, and we take them back. You know,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that's necessarily like an external thing that like just like comes into our country from abroad. It's like stuff. It happens at home too. Like, you know, we can all. It's very easy to remember the FLQ.
Very easy.
You know, it's easy to remember. Was it the Toronto 15? You know, that was homegrown. Like, it happens.
I hear you, but Hamas is claiming that following the Qatar's efforts, it has released an American mother and her daughter for humanitarian reasons. This is them right here. Here's the child.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw a release happen not too long ago. Is that what you said? It was the ones from Chicago?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. That's nice of them. It's so like you and I up in the northern part of the world, and then I mean, it's hard to get your head around and what they're doing, but there's been at least 3 to 4 occasions where the 2-state solution was part of the deal, and 3 times the Arabian countries said no, and then this last time Israel said no. Any thoughts on the 2-state solution?
It's difficult, right? Because you know, you have a 2-state solution kind of being presented through like an Orientalist kind of point of view, right? People who just like have like a different kind of philosophy of how life works, right? You know, there's like Muslim majority countries that have like a different philosophy of how society works, and you know, like we as Western countries have like a different like idea of how society works, and there is a halfway. Like, I'm not saying that Hamas's religious fundamentalism is to blame, but there are different just ways of doing things that kind of rub up against each other, which makes the 2-state solution very difficult. Just small little cultural things, right? And in the form of how we do development and what we consider development and progress, just like it's very different, even for like secular Muslims in the East.
It is.
I mean, as far as I understand, like I'm not a secular Muslim in the East. I'm a white dude in a English speaking West, right? So,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it has been tried before, but you know what? There is like a massive political failing of just trying to like block off Gaza and the West Bank and like build a wall and forget that it's a problem, right? Which has kind of happened. You know, like Palestinians haven't even
under
it. It's a problem. Like this is the same problem that Trump faced. He thought he could do the pull a Netanyahu and just be like, put up a wall and then problem's gone. No, like the problem still exists. You just put a wall up between it, right? And that's what we've been dealing with for like the last 15 bloody years.
You got that.
It's just like the actual issues haven't been dealt with. Like Hamas has been there behind walls and gates and stuff like that. They've been there. It's like and Israel has like not really wanted to get rid of Hamas because it's been a power balance against other groups like Fatah and the Palestinian Authority, right? So it's like the Netanyahu had no interest in getting rid of Hamas.
No,
right?
Hamas
there is no
had special privilege.
There has been no real solution on the table. Like, yes, we've had proposals for like 2-state solutions. Yes, we've had the Palestinian Authority involved in stuff, but the Palestinian using the word authority and describing the Palestinian Authority is absolutely ridiculous, right? You know, as we can tell from like the West Bank protests that have been going on, right? Like there's been and it's made Western leaders who have been involved in just the basic diplomatic process lazy too, because they're like, okay, we don't have to deal with it. Like everyone's just been hands off and just saying we support Israel but we support a 2-state solution, except no one's actually doing anything about a 2-state solution. And it's So I'm saying this doesn't happen in a vacuum, man. Like,
Right.
it's a pressure cooker that exploded, right? I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying the violence is good. I'm pretty sure when we've talked about Ukraine, I'm pretty sure I've said something similar, right?
Yes. Yeah.
This is a pressure cooker situation that's just been let to explode, right? That like there really isn't any blame to put on any side except to say that nobody's dealt with it.
Yeah. I blame and because nobody's dealt with it, that's why things explode, right?
Yeah. And you just have working class people that get stuck in the middle of it, right? And the working class people die, and that's what happens.
No, they do. You want to hear President Biden opening minute of his? They say this is the best speech he has ever given. I
would hate to hear this, but you play it anyway.
I'm going to, especially for you.
God bless you.
Point in history. One of those moments where the decisions we make today are going to determine the future for decades to come. That's what I'd like to talk with you about tonight. You know, early this morning, most movingly, I met with Israelis who personally lived through horrific horror.
Did the recording stop?
I think we lost you, Walter.
Okay, hold on here.
Still recording.
All right. Just 2 seconds here. We shall try that again. Technical problems. I think my internet just jumped. I switched providers.
Point in history. One of those moments where the decisions we make today is going to determine the future for decades to come. That's what I'd like to talk with you about tonight. Now, early this morning, I returned from Israel. I tell them I'm the first American president to travel there during the war. I met with the Prime Minister and members of his cabinet. Most movingly, I met with Israelis who personally lived through horrific horror in the attack by Hamas on the 7th of October. More than 1,300 people slaughtered in Israel, including at least 32 American citizens. Scores of innocents, from infants to the elderly grandparents, Israelis, Americans taken hostage. As I told the families of Americans being held captive by Hamas, we're pursuing every avenue to bring their loved ones home. As president, there is no higher priority for me than the safety of Americans held hostage.
Well, I hope your ears didn't bleed with that, Dave.
I got through it.
I hope you're okay with that. And spotlight. There we go. He's actually looking pretty good, I think. Eh? Not too bad.
I mean, did you see the airplane interview though? He looked shit there.
Yes. When yes.
He was tired. He had a long day.
Well, you know, you get that age, right? You know.
Yeah, they fed him some. They made him chew some Ritalin before that one. 100%.
So, do you see do you see any hope for the Palestine Israel situation?
Absolutely not. No. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be gross. I'm going to cry every day, and I'm probably going to throw up. It's disgusting, the whole situation, and I want it to go away. And I wish I didn't care about politics or anything going on in the world, because it's the thing that's making me more sad than anything else right now.
Well, also on another note, breaking news is that the crossing between Egypt and Gaza, which was expected to open tomorrow at 9 to allow humanitarian aid, will not be open. So they're still trying to discuss things there. But
yeah, like fuck, they did that yesterday. And what's Israel trying to say? 20 trucks a day max?
Yeah.
And UN saying they need like 100 trucks a day yesterday. Yeah.
All right.
It's not
see
good.
See this good looking woman and this guy on the screen here?
Oh, absolutely. Nana,
Right.
Ivan. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nana's my cousin.
Nice.
And Ivan's another singer-songwriter. And they've just dropped a new album together for the first time. So I'm going to play it.
Amazing.
And then I'll go to Jim Earl and Martha Previte. And if you want to stick around, I would appreciate it. If you have time, you and I have to stay for a couple hours and just talk about this crap, right?
Yeah, I could definitely do that. If not tonight, then definitely some other time.
Okay. Well,
I'll
everybody.
stick around for a bit though.
Well, hey, I appreciate that very much. And Dave, thank you very much, and best of health to you. And,
thank you. Yeah. You too.
Well, hey, thank you. Any snow there yet? Any
We've both
snow?
been struggling. No, not yet, man. We'll get some November,
It's
hopefully.
coming. We're expecting Monday or Tuesday.
Ooh, you're lucky.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm going to move to Quebec. Okay, so here's a tune from Nana Larson from her new album, and hope you enjoy it.
Coming out of the blue, leaving a danger zone, no good for you and your nearest, and those you hold dearest. Holding on, holding us tight, leaders everywhere, claiming they're right, they're the strong ones. I call them the wrong ones. There's an elephant pressing as we speak, that the strong will crush the weak. Freedom for everyone, freedom for all. Let the strong stand stronger while others may fall, as they stand tall. They are proudly fighting, standing the truth. Let the strong live a longer while, trusting their youth to carry them through. No one said the world is fair, but we might try to pretend to actually care about each other, to love one another, yeah. One for all and all for themselves. Have we forgotten that everyone is next to kin? He's your brother. We all come from Mother Earth. It's so easy to go and save yourself, just to sacrifice everyone else. Freedom for everyone, freedom for all. Let the strong stand stronger while others may fall, as they stand tall. They are proudly fighting, standing the truth. Let the strong live a longer while, trusting their youth to carry them through. There's an elephant pressing as we speak, that the strong will crush the weak. Freedom for everyone, freedom for all. Let the strong stand stronger while others may fall, as they stand tall. They are proudly fighting, standing the truth. Let the strong live a longer while, trusting their youth to carry them through.
On you then, and I'll see if we can. Okay, I can now. Sorry, I'm having technical issues, and I know watching that David Feldman show prior, he always had technical issues, but I don't like it. I want to be smooth at this. I want to be great. I want to be like you, Jim. You are the man, Jim.
Me?
I have an obituary for you too, by the way. Have you been writing any more obituaries lately? By the way,
I've been trying, but it's kind of depressing out there. And
wouldn't an obituary kind of liven you up?
Depends on who the guy is or
Yeah.
gal. I'm not sexist.
Right. Did you write one on the Pillsbury Doughboy? Was that you?
Yes, I did.
Is this yours? It is with the saddest heart that we must pass on the following news. The Pillsbury Doughboy died yesterday of a yeast infection
No, that was not me.
and complications from repeated pokes in the belly. He was 71.
No, that's a little too cutesy for me.
Oh,
Pokes in
okay.
the belly.
Well, I thought it was interesting. I thought it might be your work, but maybe somebody's plagiarized your deal, right?
No, well, some people, but it wasn't my original idea to do funny obituaries, but
Oh, okay. Well,
some people.
he rose quickly in show business, but his later life was filled with turnovers.
Turnovers. I like the turnover joke. I like that
He
one.
was not considered to be a very smart cookie, wasting his dough on half-baked schemes. Despite being a little flaky at times, as a crusty old man, he was still considered a role model for millions. Doughboy is survived by his wife, Play-Doh, 2 children, John Doe and Jane Doe, plus they had one in the oven. He's survived by his elderly dad, Pop-Tart. So I thought some of the humor, I thought, well, maybe it's you.
No,
My aunt sends me these things, right? So I like my aunt. My aunt's a good.
I like your aunt too.
Yeah, well,
We're gonna have to have a talk about that later.
Oh, okay. Uncle Jim.
Well, I go where the money is.
Yeah. Oh,
And,
okay. Well, you won't come up here then. No money here. How are you doing, Jim?
Well, before we get to that, I think we need to go to Majorie Taylor Greene because she's got a lot to say about Jim Jordan, and she's kind of.
Well, I'm glad because I wanted to actually talk about Jim Jordan. So let me bring in Marjorie.
Hello.
Do you have anything to say about your support for Jim Jordan?
Hear me out. I am literally actually praying on my hands and knees so we can elect Jim Jordan today as Speaker of the House so we can save America and ignore the cries of spoiled, molested college students everywhere. They are un-American, stinky pants, loser dumbasses.
Okay, but didn't Jordan didn't Jordan ignore sexual abuse while he was a wrestling coach at Ohio State?
Let's set the record straight here. Jim Jordan has covered up less sexual abuse against students than any other Republican in the House.
Okay.
And that's not a fact I made up myself. Jim Jordan did not turn a brown eye to sex abuse allegations.
What?
You liberal hypocrite with your I, you, he, she, it, we, they, them, past pluperfect, participle, woke mind, virus. Grow up. There's nothing wrong with taking showers with your students as long as there's an adult in the room to supervise. Period. Okay. End of sentence. Mic drop.
But his wrestling team complained to Jordan about the university physician abusing over 200 male students.
Oh, well, I heard different. I heard it was only 177.
Well, what's the difference?
Math is for pussies. That's the difference. Oh. And aren't y'all up on your high horse now and whatnot? Are you a medical professional?
No.
Who among us is qualified to determine what a medically unnecessary rectal exam is? Is Jim Jordan a doctor? Certainly not. And that's why he should be Speaker of the House so we can cut Medicare and Medicaid to all those old welfare queens collecting retirement benefits when they should be picking up trash on our freeways. What are you doing for our country, you commie? I'm on my 4th COVID infection, and I feel great.
Maybe you should get vaccinated. Have you thought about getting vaccinated?
I don't need any Nazi Germany gazpacho police inovulating me with some toxic jab. The Bible says vaccines are murder, you pagan heretic. I'm inoculated with the blood of Jesus. Jesus refused the jab for our freedoms. And get this, he wasn't crucified. He died of rabies.
Oh,
Yeah, the holy squirrel spirit bit him on his little holy pecker, and that's why they had to nail him to the cross. Because they were such fraidy, poopy pants, he might infect them with the freedom virus. And that's why we need Jim Jordan as speaker. As a mother of 2 or 3 children of variable intelligence, I are appalled at this country's abortion doctors. You hear that? You are guilty of murder, so come out and get executed. This needs to end, and it needs to stop now. It needs to now and stop. It needs to end, it not to stop, to now. Understand?
no, not really.
If you want to be a big boy, you need to get rid of your little itty bitty baby diaper, close your laptop class laptop, and come out and be able to talk to real American citizens. You need to get rid of your little itty bitty baby diapers and cure yourself of your woke mind virus, or come out and get executed. Because, and before I go, let me say this. Evolution is a communist plot. We need hot oceans so we can make saltwater taffy. Anyone who says different belongs to the global cabal of Satan-worshiping baby killers who incidentally caused my husband to divorce me. Honest. Seacrest out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that explained a lot. Well, thank you very much, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene,
Yeah,
for
whatever.
coming on and with your. It's not a good attitude you have there. I mean,
Whatever.
you should have a more of a positive PMA, positive mental attitude. You know. But anyway, thanks for.
Thanks, everybody.
Walter.
Thanks.
Walter, are you around?
Thanks.
I am. And thank you very much, Marjorie.
Well, thank you very much, Wally. You like my new picture?
I do. Is
I
that,
just had my hair done today.
oh, is that, okay, it's
Yeah.
not your child then, right? Oh, here we go.
Wait, but is that a recreation of a Neanderthal woman?
What are you talking about, Jimmy?
Nothing. I just thought I recognized one of those recreation pictures from archaeology today.
What are you talking about, Jimmy?
Well, you know how they find the bones and they're able to recreate the facial features of long buried dead individuals.
So are we thinking Marjorie's a bit of a Neanderthal? Is that what we're thinking here?
Neanderthal?
Thrall
Yes.
or Neanderthal? You pronounce it for me, boss. I'm in Canada.
Neanderthal.
Okay.
Or thal.
Right. I read a study on DNA, and the world's population is like 99.9%. So there's really no difference in ethnicity between people, like as far as body DNA goes. I was thinking we're kind of like dogs. You know, you breed the one you want, and you get different colors, and you get all this.
There's certainly a genetic predispositions for, eye color and hair color.
Oh, for sure.
Things like that.
Yeah, but and lots of people have Denovian and Neanderthal genes, right?
Yeah.
Marjorie, go put some clothes on, baby.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, Marjorie.
She works out a lot, She had her own. She was a fitness instructor,
right,
for many years, as you can tell.
So, which segues right to the elephant in the room, which is Suzanne Summers passed away.
I didn't have anything to do with it.
No, well, the Thigh Master Queen, she's left us, and
Summer's over.
Yeah, she did good. You know, and Marjorie there doesn't look like she's working on her ties. Look like something else. So what can I
Looks
say?
like
Hi,
she's
hi, Martha. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Did you get your garden out?
We're working on it.
Oh, okay. I had to get mine out. We're supposed to have snow next week. So,
Oh no.
oh no, is right.
It's just starting to get a little nippy up here, but not yet.
No,
I still have
Marjorie
to take
Taylor
my
Greene,
garden
that's something
hose in.
nippy. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, she's nippy all the time.
All the
Snippy,
time.
Nippy.
That's right.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have a boyfriend at the movie theater. We don't have any pictures, but we do have Lorraine Bobbert, right? So that was amazing. You got Marjorie to come on here. So I thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, yeah, we have connections, you know.
Yes, you do. Very, very much so.
Mm.
How's the weather out there? How's that treating you guys?
I think it's for some rain, but it's been fairly mild. Lovely weather in the since we've seen you.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's been a couple of weeks, so I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys having some
Thank
time
you.
to come on. Do you guys get red leaves? Like your leaves, they change color majestically, like red and oranges and
Oh yeah, they sure do. We have some beautiful foliage here in
right.
the great southern Canada.
Pretty well. Well, we don't.
Yeah.
We have leaves on and leaves off. So they just turn orange, and I have
you know why we this part of New England is famous for its colors during fall is
Right.
because of a huge fire they had in 1947, according to an expert that Martha and I both consulted at a trolley museum. And he says, well, half the state burned down, and it was mostly pine trees. Of course, pine trees don't change color.
No, they don't.
And they were replaced. A lot of them were replaced by trees that, well, just die every winter. It becomes bleak, kind of like the people who live here. It's every winter they just kind of stop moving, and they pass away.
We're getting a lot of bears coming into the city, not into Edmonton, but into Prince George and into Vernon and Kelowna.
Poor guys.
That's right. And people have taken in, so they were telling the forestry people about the bears. And they came out and 2 of them got shot. So now people aren't telling them that there's bears here.
Yeah.
In the city. But they've also started, and this is ridiculous, they've started getting takeout food and leaving it on the benches for the bears. Which is not something you should freaking do. You know, you want to chase them. They're just going to get shot if they get, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's not good. That's just a sign of the end of the world.
As we know,
you see a bunch of bears coming in towns in Los Angeles County. It's happening all the time. Bears are coming down from the hills. It's because they have nowhere to go. So they're.
Well, the forest fires chased them south, right? So up here.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. How come you keep freezing, Jim? What's going on there?
Well, I'm frigid. I'm a frigid person naturally.
Right.
And
So I was going to ask you about your Maine moose. It's hunting season now, or right away, right?
I don't know. It seems like it's hunting season every minute of the day here. You hear a shot in the woods or something.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Some, murder suicide going on. A crack house or crack barn burning down. Somebody's livelihood gone. Suddenly, they have no choice but to take out the shotgun and do themselves in, but not after taking out the family.
Fair enough. What are your thoughts? Do you want to get into it? What are your thoughts on President Biden's response to Israel? Anything?
I think he's a maniac. I think he's a demented maniac, and he has no courage whatsoever to do the right thing and say no to Israel, and to at least try to force a ceasefire. And this is, this is going to cause irreversible damage. The invasion of Gaza. There's no way that this is going to be irreversible, and probably bringing in other countries and start a worldwide conflict. And
can we say we're in World War III already then, or do we need a couple more yet?
I'm just waiting for Russia to feel desperate enough to use a tactical nuclear weapon. And then, of course, we'll have to avenge ourselves, or I mean, avenge Ukraine.
Well, they had a secret plan, or sorry, wasn't so secret because they said it on TV about blowing a nuclear bomb up in Siberia. And then apparently I'm assuming that the winds will take that nuclear radiation over to North America. So it would cross and that way they can't be faulted for starting a war with a bomb. I mean, there's all sorts of crazy conspiracy theories coming out of Russia, right? But you know what? The one thing not coming out of Russia or going back to Russia is their soldiers. So it's the same thing. If their soldiers go back to Russia, war's over, right?
That would help.
That would help. So
it would also help if we stop. It would also help if we stop surrounding their borders with troops practicing war games. After all, they haven't been invaded twice in the last century and suffered 40 million deaths from the Nazis.
We're gonna do it right this time. No, sorry.
Just say, yeah.
So with Israel, should they have, in your mind, should they have stood down and negotiated with Hamas for the hostages right off the bat? Was there so much fury and people taken and people killed? I mean, they had, they said there was pictures of babies with their heads cut off, which nobody's brought out. They said the hospital bombing, which is up in the air who's done it. But like Davy said prior on this podcast, it doesn't matter. There's people dead. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because Israel doesn't look good. Even it doesn't matter if they did it or not. They have a record of using human shields themselves and targeting ambulances. Right. And, giving a hospital a 24-hour warning before you blow it to bits that's a war crime. And invading Gaza is a war crime. Simple. Collective punishment is a war crime.
Right. So these things that they haven't been able to take care of for the last 40, 50 years, 60 years, I guess, everything's come home to roost now, right? And
apartheid.
Now we're playing with more lethal weapons and missiles.
Yeah, phosphorus weapons. It's like one Israeli woman called it on Democracy Now. She called it they're drunk with revenge, and that's not rational. It's hard to be rational when you see your family taken away and killed. But on the other hand, what's the alternative to trying to wipe out, a whole ethnicity or a whole population? The alternative to that is a little better, I think, because you're just calling for complete mass destruction, and it will ruin Israel morally for an eternity, and no one will ever forget that, and they'll have nothing but a wasteland to control. It's just like Iraq, just what we did to Iraq.
Yeah,
Vietnam.
There was actually in the news too, there was a U.S. Army base had missiles and rockets flown into a base in Iraq. So you think you're out, but you're not. You have soldiers still in Iraq. So.
Yeah, and America is irresponsible. Everything we touch turns to shit. We destroy.
Right.
There hasn't been a single conflict, war that we've been involved in since World War II, that we haven't left the property in shambles and half the population dead or maimed.
So if you vote harder, would that fix it? Like, just vote harder this time.
I'm going to fill in my own candidate harder this time.
Bill Harder.
You know,
But Netanyahu, with the with all the people that he said go ahead and build houses in this land that we may or may not give to Palestine or the Palestinian people. Yeah, he's like he gives them a noogie all the time. Like, he just forces this issue, and then so you can't be surprised that something friggin' blew up, right? Especially on his watch. And he's been ultra aggressive with the Palestinian people. So,
well, his philosophy and the philosophy of his party was kind of like Hillary Clinton in the Pied Piper
strategy.
Yeah. I mean, well, okay, we'll fuel Hamas, and because we want them to overpower the other leaders in Gaza, and
I think that the president that came closest was George Bush Sr. in getting a two-state solution at the time. And one of and I wish I had the picture there. So they had a group of people who were for him. They were lesbians, and they had these T-shirts made up, and they used to go to his rallies, and it said "Lesbians for Bush." So I thought that would, I'm no innuendo, it's just a true thing. So I wish I had that picture.
Lesbian
of the shirt, I mean. Right. But
I know
he was the only one to really come close, right? So, and Bill Clinton, funnier enough, he was the one who said, "You elect me and I'll make sure Israel doesn't have to kowtow to the Palestinians." And everybody elected Bill.
Yeah. Well, America's been kowtowing to Israel for.
You got to vote harder, my friend. Got to vote harder. That's what I say.
I don't know.
All right.
I just think, a ceasefire would be good.
Okay.
Better than any alternative. There's no other alternative. The only alternative is complete destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, they told the people to move out of there, go south, right? Because we're coming in.
I know. Why don't they just move to where the food is?
Well, the food is under lock and key and not able to get in right now, is what I heard.
Why don't they move to where the water is?
True, that's good. Hey, since you're in the entertainment business, I want to ask you, what does Harvey Weinstein think about this? Because I know you guys are probably pretty close, right? So,
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey, yeah.
I don't know anything about. I can tell you what Shel Silverstein probably would think, but
okay, what would Shel say?
It would probably say that Sarah Cynthia Stout would not take the garbage out. 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Well, okay,
anybody here? What's going on?
Thank you for that. You got a pity laugh from the audience here, buddy.
Thank you.
So what? Anything new with you two besides just watching the world turn?
Martha's been trying to get us a vaccine, and I think we might have finally landed.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gonna get the jab. So ours just came out and they have it now. My better half's daughter got COVID. I was really surprised because I went and I got a test, right? Well, I guess you can't see that. You get 5 of them in a box and it was free. That's what surprised me.
5. We get
5.
4 every 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it mailed to you?
If you request one online.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the whole family.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I took it and it's a nasty bit of business and I was negative. So that was good.
Good for you.
Yes. And we're debating on the vaccine right now because We'll see. We'll see.
Well, you should get it. You should definitely get the booster. Definitely get the booster.
Yeah. Is this an age thing? Are you saying I'm old?
No, it's got nothing to do with that.
Okay.
COVID.
You're just saying for a common sense guy, you should get the booster.
COVID is still a leading cause of death for children.
Yes.
The
and
eighth
RSV and flu, all
Yeah.
three of them. Right.
So, and I think 4,000 Americans. I don't care about Canadians,
Yeah.
but and 4,000 Americans they died in the last month. And of course,
Was it COVID?
Yes, it was COVID. It wasn't with or from. With or death certificates are by law they are written in a certain way.
Yes, they are. I know I had a friend during COVID. He was texting me. He thought it was the end. He was in the hospital. I think I mentioned that before, but he made it through with that mono something therapy.
Monoclonal antibodies.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm.
He made it through.
That's expensive. It's not available.
We're in Canada. It was free. Sorry.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
Well,
See,
free. Like we pay on our taxes. Like, don't get me wrong. We pay for our healthcare. So
Israel's got universal health care.
yes, and America gives Israel money, and America does not have universal health care.
We don't got shit.
Imagine that.
We had to wait a month before we're pretty sure that our insurance would even cover the COVID boosters, which cost like $200.
Wow.
$200.
Wow. $200.
Mhm.
Without insurance. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's free here.
Yeah, you should definitely
All
get it.
vaccines should be free,
They should be. Yes.
as
even
well
they-
as face masks.
and insulin,
well,
as far as I'm
Yeah,
friggin'
insulin.
concerned.
Absolutely.
Right. Michelle's daughter's pre-diabetic right now, and she was told to lose some weight and stuff, and they're trying to have kids, and she tried the Ozempic and she just instantly threw up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a great solution for a lot of people. They have depression. There have been a lot of side effects of taking these things, and most of these drugs do. They're dangerous if they're not taken properly, but they can also have pretty nasty side effects too that can.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
No, they have some, but
The best thing to do is to exercise and go on a
Diet.
vegetarian diet and
Exercise. Yeah.
well, then there's been some success stories. Another friend of mine, she lost 80 pounds with it, right?
with the Ozempic.
Yeah. So there's that. I just tell people to quit smoking marijuana because it makes you hungry when you get fat. That doesn't fly very well. A lot of old people actually take like CBD with THC in it, and for their arthritis, Then they can think about the disappointment of their life as they reach that stage. I don't know.
You can't do that if you live in government subsidized housing. It's against the law.
They would test people for doing that?
Well, if they'd found out,
Really?
against the law.
Right.
It's like you can't use your food stamp money, your food stamps. You can't
Right.
trade them
To buy CBD?
to buy firearms
Fireworks.
or fireworks. And that, that happens
Yeah.
a lot.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
something.
Lottery tickets and fireworks.
Mhm.
How
Because
you
they give
gonna
you all of
celebrate-
like $20, right, Jim?
Right.
I mean,
'Cause
it's
20,
they're just
$25.
giving the money away for fireworks and lottery tickets here in our country.
Because
Right.
God
Mhm.
knows starving people would rather shoot off some fireworks and get stoned than
Then get ramen. Yeah.
yeah.
Look at the rockets. Yeah.
Mm.
But how do you celebrate your freedom if you can't afford fireworks? I mean, that should be a national institution.
I celebrate my freedom by infecting others with a preventable disease.
Hmm.
Did you get a
Going
chance to hear
maskless.
that freedom song that's out there with General Milley?
General Milley? No, are you talking about the red-haired guy who looks like
What? No, General Flynn. Sorry, my bad.
no, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, you're gonna bring it up, aren't you?
Well, I don't know if I can, to be honest.
You know what I found out today
What?
or yesterday? The LA Times had an article on this Stanford professor, and the headline was Stanford professor finds that humans have no free will.
Yes, I read that study too. And it's a combination of pheromones and hormones and the way you're wired to make you come to a decision, right? Is what he was saying.
My father, Dr. Robert W. Earl,
Mm.
head of the psychology department, clinical psychology department at the Claremont Graduate School,
Right.
and also University of Michigan, 1957, formulated the Denver-Earl theory of stimuli-stimulus behavioral dynamics with his partner, Bill Denver. And they came to basically the same conclusion, only through a different means.
Different means.
Well, theirs was more mathematical. They studied rats and gave them different things to react to and
Mhm.
decisions to make. And basically all behavior is based on stimulus novelty. If something becomes slightly more interesting,
Mhm.
it will eventually go towards that. And
You're
fear
talking-
avoidance.
You're talking about the American media. Then.
No, that would be much more stimulus. That would be
Yeah.
like
That's right.
watching.
So that theory is, it would be like if you killed somebody, it's not your fault because it's in your genes and you should be treated as such.
Well, that's
Or rape, or, you know,
not necessarily,
right.
but there's certain life decisions and patterns we get into. It's it has to do with fear avoidance.
Right. So
Basically.
are you thinking there's no free will then? Or
Well,
are you just studying what he's trying to say?
I think there's a lot of evidence that there is no free will in the long run. And and it's not
I
saying
didn't twist your arm to be here, Jim.
saying that there's no saying
It
that you
was your
can't
free
have
will, buddy.
you can't have momentary. See, it's my free will I'm using to interrupt you right now.
True.
But that doesn't mean that I won't come back to thinking about.
Oh, there's the koala. Did you want to see I can only play a short part of the clip of Freedom with the general?
Sure.
Okay.
Is there sound?
There
You can take all our money, but you can't have our soul. You can burn down our buildings,
guy was on American
and
Idol.
we'll still find a home. We will all stick together, and we'll never surrender. We won't give up our freedom. There were bright lights before it all went too dark, and their white lies, they divided our hearts.
In the blink of an eye, we were all left with scars. Listen to man-made decisions, should've trusted God.
You can take all our money, but you can't have our soul.
You could burn down our buildings, and we'll still find a home.
We will all stick together and we'll never surrender. We won't give up our freedom.
From the shores of California, all the way down
closer when we fall to our knees.
And he'll lift us from the ground so that everyone can see that we never lost our freedom. It's in his glory.
Yeah, we'll stop that there. No auto tune in that whatsoever, my friends, right? General Milley, he hasn't sounded so good ever.
We are the world.
Well, we need our freedom.
We need our
My
freedom.
cousin sounded incredible, though.
She did, actually. And his cousin is an ex-Pussycat doll who's in there. Plus, there's a housewife of Atlanta in there. And of course, the general. And the lead singer is from American Idol. So,
What was that song about?
freedom. Weren't you listening?
No, I.
Weren't you paying attention, buddy? Do you want to hear it again? No.
I'd
Yeah.
like to get a transcript from Merkel Press, send $5 to the get the lyrics to that.
Well, it's got 111,000 views on YouTube and it's climbing the charts on iTunes, so they say. And you can see those guys on right-wing TV quite a bit having these conversations.
Whose freedom are they talking about? Is my question.
White people, maybe? No, couldn't.
Freedom to wear MAGA hats.
There's some diversity in there. Yeah.
When
well,
you're
you
a
know,
beard,
that's the thing is you talk about freedom. What kind of freedom?
a bearded white fat guy.
No. I just want to drift back to, do you think a two-state solution will come about? Will they have their freedom out there?
I don't like I said before. I think if Israel goes through with the invasion and killing a whole bunch of civilians under the excuse that, well, they were collateral damage, and they already have the philosophy, they already have the their cabinet ministers have already admitted, well, civilians and hostages are second to killing Hamas, so that means there's going to be slaughter. And and when you do that, how can there be a two-state solution? You just gave birth. You just created a whole new generation of militants and people who will hate Israel for all their life.
Well, it sounds like you were not inspired by the song I just played about freedom.
The freedom to go to Arby's and eat some sliced beef.
All right. One of the curious things about Israel is, so the Palestinians, theory has it, because the Jews left Israel to Babylon, right? And these were the ones that were left, or that came back. So basically, they're killing their cousins by putting them behind a wall and stuff.
We're all cousins. We're all cousins.
Right.
We're all brothers and sisters.
Majorie Taylor Greene and I are not related. I just want to put that out.
Sure, we're all related from the same couple. How many billions of years ago? So
You don't think
south of Africa.
You don't think God billions of years ago could make a 6,000-year-old world?
No. I was trying to find some way to mesh that into the video I just saw. Yeah. God definitely does not exist based on that song, but I think, the same thing with Ukraine, and it's like Ukraine. Who does Ukraine belong to?
Themselves.
Well, there were like 400 ethnicities in Ukraine,
right.
And it's been part of Russia off and on for 900 years. And
yeah, but Russia's been part of Ukraine off and on too, as well, right? That was,
so
the Kievan Rus started everything. So
I think a good start would be to stop conducting war games on Russia's borders. That might make them a little less nervous.
let's put flowers in those missiles. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, let's put
But
flowers.
how can
in-
you have freedom if you put flowers in the missiles, Jim? Nobody would be scared of that.
Putting flowers in missiles.
You got to have some freedom. Well, that's true. So what's the weather going to be like for you guys? You going to be able to get your garden out?
It's going to be dismal for the
Oh.
next few days. But yeah, hopefully we'll get the garden out.
Okay.
And
We'll let the garden out.
So are you still putting up your koalas onto is it TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that?
they haven't done anything as of recent, but there will be soon.
Yeah.
I imagine. Yes.
Well,
We're
that's
gonna
good.
yeah, it's been too long. We got to put up another koala video. Maybe one about freedom to eat leaves.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I put your links to this stuff in the show notes for anybody at home who wants to
Great.
see Jim and Martha's catalog of good videos. That is 100%. Oh, you know what? We didn't talk about Jim Jordan. We should talk about him for a second, if you don't mind. What do you think? Is he going to be your House Speaker? Actually, the koala would do friggin' better than Jim Jordan.
Yeah, you're damn right I would. I'm a little more smooth brain than Jim Jordan, though.
Right.
What would your first order of business be, Mr. Koala, as Speaker of the House?
Leaves.
There you have it. Leaves.
Leaves for all.
Leaves for all.
How many pounds of leaves do you eat per day, would you say?
At least 12 pounds of leaves.
How many hours a day do you sleep?
18.
Sounds like a good start to world peace, doesn't it?
It does. Eat leaves, not cows.
We need more vegetarians and marsupials in charge. And
So
don't
I-
say
Little
Hitler.
smooth brains.
Hitler was not a vegetarian.
He kissed a squirrel once.
Well,
He did.
again, you don't have to degrade. Never mind.
You can't trust a squirrel, man. Or can you? So you've got no thoughts about the speakership. You don't care. It'll settle itself out eventually.
Well, one Republican is as bad as the next.
Well, too bad Mitt Romney retired, eh?
Yeah.
Well, he was a senator though, but
We need a Mormon. Yeah.
how about Trump? Trump is House leader. That's not going to happen, but they had
That would be
public-
hilarious. I would like to watch that. That would be
Yeah?
funny.
I
Yeah.
think they should bring Bill Clinton out of retirement, let him be. Oh, actually, Hillary, give her make her House Speaker if you could. Just payback for trying to be a run for president and stuff, and
That would be funny too.
that would be
Maybe
awesome.
a triumvirate with between Hillary and Trump.